Hi guys, Candy here with Consider Hope Services. So this video is designed as a psychoeducation piece. I use this with my clients. So if you're here for that reason, you're in the right place. This is a very entry-level introduction to some concepts about neurobiology that have to do with trauma. So today we're going to talk about the window of tolerance. So every person has what we call a window of tolerance. And this window of tolerance is a neurological window. It is a level of tolerance, if you will. And one of the ways we can look at this is like you can think of a box like a window, but you can also think of like a band, right? So this is my window. And as we go through life, it's just normal for us to have ups and downs. So neurologically, we experience, maybe we get neurologically activated a bit with a little bit of excitement or maybe a little bit of anxiety over something we're worried about. We're going to speak in public or do something new, meet someone, and it's exciting, right? It's new and a little anxious. So our nervous system will activate and go up, and we will experience kind of anxious symptoms, right? But usually we get over the hump, we go back down, and then we're just going through life, right? Sometimes we will have lows. Maybe something sad has happened. Maybe we have lost a treasure or been very disappointed about an opportunity or whatever that might look like. And so we might dip down in our mood and even our physical body, some tiredness and things like that, just with these normal occurrences that happen day to day. So inside this window, all of us neurologically are experiencing ups and downs with our neurosystem, right? Or we get activated either up, we can get activated down, but typically when we're regulated, we're just kind of, flowing through our window. That's what we're doing, ups and downs. That's life, right? There are ups and downs in life. We have times when we don't feel great or we feel more anxious. Some of us are born with a nervous system that kind of tends towards anxiety. So we just might be, the term we use for that is neurotic, which just means anxious. Some of us might be more neurotic than others, just from birth. Our systems are just more sensitive and we're just more responsive. And some of us may be less activated as a baseline, just kind of these people who don't really seem to get excited all that much. They're just sort of floating by. They just take life as it comes, and you don't see they don't experience rather a huge change in their neurosystem as far as in their window of tolerance. But the thing to know is that all of us have a window of tolerance physically. Your nervous system has limits. It has a top limit, it has a bottom limit, and as long as we operate inside these limits, then we're just functioning like we do. That's just life. But things can happen that overwhelm our nervous system and cause our experiences. Typically, this is physical sensations or emotions to leave our window of tolerance. So that looks like I'm going along and suddenly something happens. Let's say I have a close call. I'll give an example. My husband one time snuck up on me. And he snuck up on me so well, not on purpose. It just, the circumstances just worked out this way. He knew I didn't know he was there. And so he was trying to not startle me. But I was basically grilling meat on the grill. And I had come out, had my head down, turned towards the grill, was doing stuff, but I had a knife in my hand. And he was standing beside me, and he decided the best way to do would be just to gently touch me. He was trying not to, have me come out of my skin. However, when he touched me, I instantly turned around, and I found myself standing with the knife like this, and I was looking at his heart. Like in that split second, my brain, my body responded to protect myself, like from attack, right? And we had this like microsecond, and I looked up into his eyes, and his eyes are like saucers, mine are like saucers, and I'm like, that's my husband. Right? And so I did not stab him in the heart, but so instant, right? My brain responded instantly to a shock. So I was shocked by his presence, and a high emotion, which in that moment would have been fear, right? I'm shocked and afraid something bad is about to happen. What we want to know about that is that we're going through life normal, something, a shock, and typically a big emotion, but it can be just the big emotion itself can cause me to leave my window of tolerance. So if my band is right here, I exceed it. And the point at which I exceed my top level of my window, for example, is when the body activates like a full system protocol, is what I call it. This is your fight or flight, right? And what happens in fight or flight, and we've all heard about it, but it might help to explain, is that the brain primes the body for movement, for action, right? So it's either going to fight back. So my brain dumps chemicals to strengthen my muscles and to make me move faster, or I'm going to flee. So my brain dumps chemicals to make me stronger, make me faster, so I can run away. When the body does that, we experience things like rapid heartbeat. Our heart rate just goes up really quickly. Our breathing becomes shallow because my body is priming me for action and I'm going to need lots of oxygen, so it's going to get stuff going. I get this dump of adrenaline, energy, and all kinds of things. So we can experience sweating, we can experience heat flushing, like sometimes around the face or ears, or we can experience chest pressure with our heart rate going up, tension. Some people explain that they get dizzy. They just have all kinds of symptoms that can, or things that show up, like reactions in the nervous system, in the physical body, that is responding to this high emotion and or shock that has exceeded my biological tolerance, my nervous system's tolerance levels, right? That's fight or flight. The other thing we might see with the window of tolerance is we might, I kind of say drop down. There's not really a up or a down, but you get the idea. When we maybe drop down due to a big emotion or a shock to our system, this is a little different. This is called the freeze response. And the freeze response is when, instead of priming the body for action, the brain instead bathes itself in chemicals to sort of cut off the body from the brain. It doesn't physically cut it off, but it like severs connection a little bit. It blocks connection so that the body now goes utterly still, right? So this is like a condension of we're condensing down. We're sort of like going into a slowed down state. So this is freeze, right? We might also think of this as like playing dead. So typical example, bears running at us in the woods. We're going to fight the bear, we're going to run from the bear, or we may just freeze and drop to the ground and play dead until the bear leaves us alone. These things are not decided. You don't decide. They are chemical, they are biological. You don't get a choice on which one your body will respond to. You may find that your body, when your nervous system is overwhelmed, you may find that your body tends to go one way or the other. So you may find that you tend to go to, panicky fight flight type of neurological responses. Or you may find that you tend to collapse a little bit, that you tend to go still. When we go through a freeze, that can look like tunnel vision, like it kind of gets dark. My limbs can go numb. I can go heavy so that it's actually really difficult to lift my arms or move my legs. So walking in that moment would be really hard. What else? You can experience the heart rate going up. So this is not, it's still a survival response, right? It's just not fighting or flighting. It's freezing, but you can still have your heart rate go up, your shallow breathing. You might stop breathing or breathe very slowly or hardly not at all. But that's kind of the freeze response. But what's happening is in our window of tolerance, either thing that happens, this is triggered by, and we use the word triggered, or we could use the word activated. It is this full system, body symptom is activated by a shock and a big emotion. In the next video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the other things that happen as far as trauma goes, like how trauma memories are formed as it relates to the occurrence of leaving our window of tolerance or having these experiences.